City's regular open meeting of council, March 14th, 2023 at 2 p.m. in council chambers. So first of all, we need the approval of the agenda. Are there any late items? Thank you very much. So could we have a motion, please, to approve the agenda as printed? Thank you, Councilor Poderica, Councilor King. They don't put their hands up and I just picked them anyway, so it's already, I'll just pick two. All in favor. Thanks. And the adoption of some minutes, the regular open minutes from February the 28th, 2023. Councilor Chung, Councilor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. And we're now going to public and hearings. And I will call the public hearing to order at 2:02 in the afternoon, and I will read the statement of the chair. ALR exclusion application number ALR 23-01. Every person present who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed application shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard respecting matters contained in the proposed application. None of you will be discouraged or prevented from making your views known. However, it is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the proposed application. If you wish to speak once, it is time for public representation and you are attending in person, please proceed to the microphone and commence your remarks by clearly stating your name and address. If you wish to speak and are attending virtually, please virtually raise your hand. If you are unsure of how to do this, you can find the information on the town's website. It will be your turn to speak once your name or phone number has been called. Your microphone will be unmuted and you may commence your remarks by clearly stating your name and address. Once you have finished speaking, your microphone will be muted. If they wish, members of council may ask you questions following your presentation. However, the function of council at this public hearing is to listen to you rather than to debate the merits of the proposed application. In accordance with the council procedure bylaw, presentations by members of the public shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each. If a person has additional information that they are unable to provide within that time frame, they shall be given further opportunity to address council after all other interested members of the public have been heard first time. Please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion during this public hearing so that we may ensure as impartial a hearing as possible. After this public hearing is adjourned, council members will not speak to the public on this matter until after the matter has been dealt with at a public meeting. After this public hearing has concluded, council may without further notice give whatever effect council believes proper to the representations made at this hearing. So I will ask Mrs. Hilson, please to read the confirmation of notice.
Notice of the public hearing was given in accordance with the Local Government Act and the Community Charter by distributing the notice as follows: publishing in 2 consecutive editions of the Times Chronicle on March 2nd and March 9th, placing the notice on the bulletin boards in the town office and Planning and Development Services Department on March 1st, posting the notice on the town's website on March 1st, as well as distributing via e-news, and notices were mailed out and hand delivered within 60-meter radius on March 1st.
Thank you. Would you read the summary of the staff report, please?
The purpose of this meeting is to seek public input on the Agricultural Land Reserve exclusion application number ALR 2301 to exclude land from the LR. Council has authorized administration to proceed with notifications during the regular open council meeting on February 14th. So the ALR exclusion application 43621 Lakeshore Drive is to exclude 0.223 hectares or 0.552 acres from the Agricultural Land Reserve in order to subdivide the property into 2 lots.
Thank you, Mrs. Helpman. I will notice that no correspondence has been received on this issue. So I will go on, I will ask now our planning technician, Ms. Curtis, to give her report, please.
Thank you, Mayor Laporta. So this report is for ALR exclusion application 2301, ALC file 67255. Property owner is looking to have the subject property located at 3621 Lakeshore Drive excluded from the Agricultural Land Reserve in order to facilitate the subsequent subdivision of the property. The subject property is stated at 0.0223 hectares or 0.552 acres and has not previously been used for agricultural purposes. The property is bordered by an empty lot, the Old Golf Course to the north, single-family homes to east and south, and Lakeshore Drive to west. Should council approve the ALR exclusion of the subject property, the property owner intends to subdivide the property into 2 respective lots, one of which contains the existing home. The administration supports the application's proposal to exclude the property, as the subject property has not been previously used for agricultural purposes, is designated as other than agricultural, and the current and previous OCPs, and is currently serviced by town water and sewer.
Thank you. So I will now go back to presentations, and I'm wondering if the applicant would like to speak. Would you state your name and address, please?
Gordon Reinhold, 3621 Lakeshore Drive. They don't have anything to add to what you've already said, very simply put. We've had that property for 35 years now, and it's been in the ALR all this time. We had opportunity to have it removed when services were brought out to that area, which we did not. So we're applying to have it removed from the ALR in hopes that we can subdivide it into 2 lots from the existing 1 lot that it is now.
Thank you very much. Are there any people in the audience that would like to speak to this application? I'll ask for a second time. Is there anyone in the public or online? Is there anyone online, Mrs. Hilson, Mrs. Robinson? No? Okay. For the second time, is there anyone who wishes to speak to this application? I will ask for a third and final time if there's anyone who wishes to speak to this application. Thank you. Hearing none, I will declare the public hearing closed. Thank you. Adjourned. Oh, I need a council. I need somebody to move and second. Councillor Chung, Councillor Bennett. Thank you. All in favor. That's that part. All right. So now we will move to the next, the Okanagan Basin Water. I'm sorry.
Made a motion.
Yeah, no, there's not a motion on the board, but council has the option after the public hearing. To look at Ms. Curtis's report, and she's got a recommendation that she will now give to council.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor Flora. So this report also requests that council be in favor of forwarding the ALR exclusion application 2301 or ALC file 67255 to the Agricultural Land Commission. Administration supports the applicant's proposal as stated. Property has been other than agricultural in the current and previous OCP, has not been used for agricultural purposes since Mr. Reinhold owned the property, and it's been serviced by town water and sewer. So our administration, excuse me, is recommending that council be in favor of forwarding the application to ALC.
Thank you, and I apologize for missing that. Councillor Chong, do you have a question or you?
I'm just going to move option 1.
All right, thank you very much. And Councillor Bennett seconding that. So they're in favor of moving it forward to the Agricultural Land Commission for their consideration. Okay, all in favor. Thank you very much. Okay, so right now we will go back to the Okanagan Basin, some of our core fund and the Okanagan Basin Water Board meeting highlights. We had a presentation from Lisa Scott from Oasis, that the Okanagan Smeltamine and Basic Steering Society, an update about the efforts to prevent zebra quadding mussels basically from entering, and just to give us a rundown of all of the things that have happened over the last year. And I will say that the Regional District of Okanagan Smeltamine made a donation to her because she didn't have a lot of money, and it was agreed that we would give her a little bit more. So we're preparing a response to the BC Watershed Security Fund announcement. $100 million was announced by the BC government to the Watershed Security Fund. And to, healthy watersheds, source water protection. And the OBWB actually has done a toolkit, source water protection toolkit. It's available on the website, and it's very well done. And new and improved flood risk maps. In 2019 or 20, some flood risk maps were done of the whole Okanagan, and they found it was a little difficult to read them sometimes, so they're being updated to help the public make better informed decisions around flood risk and develop site-specific mitigation strategies. You can go on the Okanagan Flood Story to get the whole website. And the water board received 22 applications to its water conservation and quality improvement grant program this year. Of course, a total ask of $587,000. There is $350,000 available, and that will be decided at the next board meeting. And next week it is International Water Day, and it is on March the 21st. And there is anybody who wants to can look at that. It's a movie. It's going to be on from 6:30 until 9 at night on Zoom, and it's called Damnation. And the idea is to have a look at the Okanagan Lake regulation system, which the water board is looking at how to make improvements there to prevent, make it more stable and prevent floods and so on. So that's on next week. If anybody wants to view that or go online, I have the information, or the information is right here. You can sign up. Okay. So could I please have a motion to have the OBWB highlights received for information? Councillor Poderica, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you. And now we have staff reports, and that would be Mr. Davis has a report for us. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Before you are recommendations for our community service grant applications. The committee, which was made up of myself, Councillor Bennett, Councillor King, and Councillor Cheong, actually reviewed all the applications and are bringing a recommendation forward for council. We had a $64,000 budget. We try to look at all these applications in a fair and equitable manner, and are making these recommendations for council to proceed. There are a number of recommendations, and there's a couple of options before council that council approve the grant committee's recommendations as presented, or that council review all applicants and make changes as required, or that council does not approve any funding at this time. And we are looking at getting to these recommendations as they are presented.
Okay, thank you very much. So the recommendations have been presented in here, and my assumption is that we are going to do each one individually.
Yeah.
Is that correct? So, council, this is going to be a bit of a marathon, okay? So can I read them out as and then we will get a mover and a seconder and vote on each one, okay? The first one, do you want me to read them out or you?
That's right.
Okay. That council approves the Osoyoos Lake Water Quality Society request for $2,000 for ongoing water quality management. Would we have a move? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Poderica, all in favor. Thank you. Second one, that council approves the Desert Valley Hospice Society request for $3,000 for the senior wellness program. Councillor Bennett, Councillor Chong, all in favor. Thank you. And the next one is that council approves the Osoyoos Festival Society request for $8,000 for sorry, skip one. Council approves the Wide Arts National Association's request for $1,500 for the All Hallows Eve Festival. Councilor John, Councilor King, all in favor. Next one. Festivals. That council approves the Osoyoos Festival Society request for $8,000 for the promotion, entertainment, bouncy castle and prizes for Canada Day. Councilor Bennett, Councilor Chong, all in favor. I'm going to point out one small thing here, that the Festival Society does 3 events a year. Some of it is used for Canada Day, some of it is used for Christmas, and some of it is used for Easter extravaganza. Okay. Thank you. Next is that council approves the Osoyoos Elk Senior Citizen Society municipal portion of taxes to offset the cost of housing. So that's, thank you, Councilor King, Councilor Chung, all in favor. That council approves the South Okanagan Smelkany Mental Health and Wellness Society request for $1,680 for a room rental at Sonora to host family support groups. Councilor Bennett, Councilor Chung, all in favor. Thank you. And that council approves the Cactus Jalopies request for $7,500 for the expenses related to their event for insurance, promotional material, advertising, social media, and accommodation. Councilor John, Councilor Puerto Rico, all in favor. Thank you. That council approves the Osoyoos Child Care Center request for $6,353 for the on-demand hot water tank replacement. Councilor Chong, Councilor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. And that council approves the Everett Exhibition Society request for $1,500 to cover rental insurance and advertising for Denim and Rhinestone Gala. Councilor Puerto Rico, Councilor King, all in favor. Thank you. And the council approves the Run Around Barrel series request for $5,000 to promote barrel series and upgrades to the grounds area. That's the Desert Park Exhibition Society as well. Okay. Councilor Chong, Councilor Bennett, all in favor. That council approves the Osoyoos Curling Club request for $2,000 for emergency lighting installation and hot water tank replacement. Councilor Puerto Rico, Councilor King, thank you. Could they get a deal with the other guys that want to put in something about a hot water tank replacement with childcare? Thank you, all in favor. Did I say that? All right. That council approves $500 for the South Okanagan Minor Hockey Association under 13 rep team, and $500 for the South Okanagan Minor Hockey Association under 18 rep team for travel to BC championships. Councilor Puerto Rico, Councilor King. Thank you, all in favor. The council approves the Osoyoos Elks Lodge 436 for $1,250 for console and flashboard replacement. Councilor Bennett, Councilor Puerto Rico, all in favor. Thank you. And the council approves the fireworks committee for $8,000 for the Canada Day fireworks display. Councilor Puerto Rico, Councilor King, all in favor. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Davis, for that. And we will now go on to the general net payroll and Sun Bowl Arena financial accounts. And those would be as of March the 14th, 2023, general cash requirements of $515,098.02. Sun Bowl cash requirements of $30,012.26, and net payroll accounts of $99,742.05. Could we have a motion to accept these for information purposes, please? Councilor Puerto Rico, Councilor Chung, all in favor. Thank you. And the building. Summary of building permits. We have a new single-family dwelling, a new accessory building, and a park model siting permit. For the month of February for $920,000. Total to date in 2023 is $1,185,000. Any questions about that? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so we need a motion, please, to accept the building permit for information. Thank you, Councilor Federica, Councilor Tom, all in favor. Okay, we'll move on to the report from the Chief Administrative Officer, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. There's more things happening on within the community, and just mentioned a couple with regards to some minor hockey accomplishments. A couple of our teams going to provincials. I'm not going to repeat that, but with good news story for the community. There's also a figure skating club wrapped up with your Disney Fantasia ice show, and there was over 400 people in attendance, so I think that's fantastic. This weekend's the 49th Adam Fiesta, so that's going to be another big event for the community. For those that want to get involved in the programs, their leader guide was just put out. Registration starts in a couple days, March 15th, so encourage those that want to get involved to get there early. The seasons are changing. We've got the next slow pitch leagues, those that are into slow pitch. Encourage you to enroll in that, and also volleyball league playoffs lined up on March 15th. There's lots going on as far as from a recreation perspective. There's also lots going on within the corporation as a whole. There were 14 e-news sent out in February, so it's still encourage people to sign up for e-news, and we're getting a few more subscribers, another 17 last month, and still strongly encourage people to sign up for that. That's where we can send out the information, so if you want to keep informed, that's the way to do it. I guess a little bit of sad news. Elaine Varga is retired position with ESS. She's been there a long time, dedicated a lot of volunteer hours to that worthwhile cause, and so we're working to find a replacement. We're working with the RDOS, and so if anybody's interested in volunteering at ESS, stay tuned, and there'll be some announcements here looking to attract some people to some positions within that very much needed service. Fire trucks are still having issues, but good news is on tentative 191, the suspension issues that have been identified, and there's some parts that have been ordered, so yeah, we don't have an exact timeline, but you know, at least they found the problem, so that's, I guess, good news. It's the bigger news that's been going on the past week or two with regards to the zoning bylaws, the short-term rentals, and the foreshore. That concluded first round on Saturday, so I think altogether in excess of about 100 people attended the 3 sessions, and probably close to around 200 surveys that have been received so far. 281, that's fantastic. So that's yeah, it's still a long haul here. We've got piece of information under our belt, and really want to appreciate and thank all those that came out to participate in those sessions. As far as new business licenses, Queen of South Charcuterie. Oh, that's how you spell that.
You should definitely know that word.
I should. CJ Cleaning and Cactus Woodcroft was a name change. Then operational services, mentioned last couple weeks ago, staff are busy preparing for the change in seasons. There's a lot of work being done in our gardens, and so you see a lot of park pruning, that type of thing. Road sweeping, I think the team's been doing very well with that. And most of the sand has been removed from a lot of the streets. And we have a new superintendent who joined us this week, as well as Derek. So we have 2 people in public works, so that's fantastic news. They've got a lot of experience, and we're really happy that they joined the team. So the public works area is filled up, and looking forward to hires the summer program, we're actually getting some applicants, so that's good news on that front as well, so. All in all, I think a good couple of weeks from the administration's perspective, and things are looking good for the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. Could we please have a motion to accept the CAO report for information? Councillor King, Councillor Fontana. All in favor? Thank you. So we're going to go to council reports. Councillor Foderica, you're first.
February 28th, attend the City Airport Society's annual general meeting. Followed by the tail end of the zoning bylaw on North Shore update. First public information session, so you can see a strong turnout there. March 1st and 3rd, myself and Councilor Chung attended the Local Government Leadership Academy. Elected official seminar up in Kelowna. A really good opportunity. There's about 130 elected officials, probably about half are newly elected, so. Really good information out there, really good training and knowledge, and just really good opportunity. And then March 9th, attended the Indigenous Uses has the process of their strategic planning session, so. Attended that for the day and there, they get ready for summer seasons.
Thank you. Councillor Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. March 1st to 3rd, I attended the MIBC board meeting and was assigned to the I think I can find my notes here, financial committee and the insurance committee. Basically, we're pretty lucky at MIBC because there's a lot of money invested and they're very stable, and with the stuff happening with banks in the United States, there's some concern. And we got news from our main people in Toronto that do a lot of investments, and even with US bank collapse, it's not gonna do, there's not many kind of implementation there to MIBC because where they've done investments, they haven't invested in those banks. And most of the stuff that happened in those US banks is more not a credit issue, but more of a rapid outflow of cash where they're forced to sell their high yield bonds to get cash to everybody to run the smaller banks. So basically their portfolio was I think they're really picked the interest rates and the bond market, which we had lots of bonds. So I think that's a good sign for the town, but Jim Zach will probably get us more on that. March 6th, I trailed the Okanagan, went there, we unveiled a new logo. It's very colorful and meaningful, designed by West Kelowna artist, and you can see that in the local newspaper. They did a nice little story on it. And then March 11th, I attended Sonora Center, the public bylaws workshop, and that's my report.
Thank you very much. Councillor Chung.
Echoing the same sentiments as Council Foderica, we attended the Local Government Learning Academy conference on Kelowna. Lots of great learning. I think a few of the sessions really stood out in terms of emergency planning and management. So a great keynote speaker with Eric Coyne. Yeah, so seeing some of the on the grounds pictures and disaster relief and how the community came together is really inspiring. But again, just great networking opportunity, and I'm looking forward to more coming forward.
Good, thank you. Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess it was mentioned earlier about attending the grant committee along with Councillor Chung and Councillor Bennett with Gerald Davis in attendance. You heard the report and who got some money, which is good to hear, because without volunteers groups in our community, we wouldn't move forward very fast. And also attended with Councillor Bennett and Madam Mayor here in McCordoff to the visioning session around the new bylaws coming forward.
Thank you. So yes, several of us did go to the zoning bylaw, and I just want to thank Ms. McKay because she put on all three of these. And that was a lot of man hours, and thank you very much. And you did an excellent job of doing that. And I hope we got lots of good information from all the people that were there. I was there twice. You didn't count me twice, did you? I signed in twice, so. And when the CEO was talking about having a street sweeper, cleaning, it's a necessary thing, although people don't like the dust that comes up. But I saw in the news that Kelowna has 35 at the moment. And that it's gonna take them, I don't know how long. Not amazing, all of their roads and everything, and their bike paths. And it was interesting because the bike path is separated in some cases by the roadway. And so it was trickier to get all of the leaves and the dust out of there. So it's probably taking them longer. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I've been at several RDOS meetings over the last couple of weeks. I've definitely one long one during the day, mostly on emergency management program. And it's one of the big things that we're looking at right now, because we're trying to set it up properly. And it's a joint one. We all do our kind of our own emergency management, but it's a joint one with the RDOS. And I was at another one with Ellie Mina, who was an amazing man to listen to. He's a registered parliamentarian, and he talked about Robert's rules and how to, to give motions and what do you worry about? Some of the communities that we're talking said that they have people giving personal attacks at their meetings, and they're having trouble with that. So I don't see that happening here. So I'm glad about that. And how we move agendas and motions and that type of thing. And it was one thing I wrote down, was quite interesting. If you abstain from a vote in BC, it is considered a positive. And it's the only province that has that. You can abstain, meaning not vote for or against, but in BC, it means that you voted for, just so that we all know. So Busy wrote that down. And if you defend the process, if you look at the process he was talking about, the process is your friend, learn it and defend the process, and then you've always can figure out, okay, this is the process, this is what I have to do. Anyway, I wrote all over my copy because I listened to them all day, but I did pick up a clean copy and I gave it to the CAO. So if anybody wants it, it would certainly be easy to get that information. I also have a book that Ellie Mina wrote, and it's 101 boardroom problems and how to solve them. And I think I've got it upstairs in my office, or we have it somewhere. And one thing he did mention was that well, social media, somebody said, what do you do about social media? He says it's a no-win situation. Engage with positive and helpful and your critics, but do it in a positive way. And he said, this is important, and he wrote the initials TEAM on the board. Together, everyone achieves more. And I thought that kind of made quite a lot of sense. So that was an interesting workshop to be at, and it's put on every couple of years by the RDOS. It's worthwhile attending if you ever have the chance to see that. I'm just going to mention the 49th Adam Fiesta that's on Friday. It's a huge ceremony that's there. It's the 49th this year. Next year will be the 50th, and Mr. Davis, it's the 50th anniversary of Sunball Arena next year too. Yeah, so that'll be a good one. Interesting that the team from Quesnel has been every year for 49 years. Isn't that amazing? And I think Adam is 12, 13-year-old. Yeah, what it is. Anyway, it's a really nice event. The who's who of Vesuvius are always there, of course. So the stands are full. All of the teams come out on the ice and they are announced, and their coaches are announced, and the RCMP is there, and mayors from around the area, MLAs are invited. It's a big deal. It's on at, I think at 6:45 or something. We have to be there on Friday night. Anyway, the games are on, I think, is it just the weekend, Mrs. Hilton? And it's open to people to go and watch the games. 16 teams, I think there are. Anyway, it's a good one. It's a really good one. The farmers market, I think it's the last one of the indoor markets. Okay, and it's on Saturday at the Sonora from 10 until 2. And I already mentioned it's World Water Day on March the 21st. And if anybody wants to sign up for the film that I mentioned, Damnation, please let me know. I can help you with that. And that's my report for today. So I will now go on to the in-camera section that we have scheduled. And pursuant to section 91 of the community charter, a part of council meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered relates to or is one or more of the following. Now, section 91A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality. Number 2, section 91K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at their preliminary stages. And that in the view of the council could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Thank you. Councillor Chung, Councillor King, all in favor.